It's incredible, isn't it? You know how after some terrible event, like a hurricane or a wildfire, you always see these stories about people coming together to help each other.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
it makes you think about the strength of communities, especially in those tough moments. Right. And that actually reminds me of something, of a time period when that kind of resilience was really, really put to the test. The Great Depression in the U.S.
Right.
Talk about a time when people really had to lean on each other. So today we're going to, kind of dive into that, take a look at two really intertwined stories from that era, and see how people found comfort and support in some pretty unexpected places.
Looking forward to it.
So for our deep dive today, we're going to focus on two amazing examples of, well, really just the human spirit shining through during tough times. And first up, we have this guy, Butler C. Davenport. Now, Davenport was a Shakespearean actor, and he was absolutely determined to keep the arts going, even as the Depression was raging on.
Hmm.
So picture this. Theaters are shutting down left and right, and Davenport's looking around like, nope, not on my watch. So what does he do? He opens a theater for free.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
free. And he actually managed to keep it afloat with donations from the audience, no matter how small they were.
That's amazing. And you have to remember the context here. I mean, during the Depression, unemployment among artists, especially actors, was through the roof. We're talking maybe 80%, even more in some places, out of work.
Yeah, it was rough.
So Davenport's theater, it wasn't just about, the arts and entertainment. It was about giving these people, these actors, a chance to keep doing what they loved, to keep their dignity.
Yeah, and to give the audience, honestly, a break from everything,
Yeah,
right?
I
I
know.
mean, just imagine for a couple of hours, you could escape into the world of Shakespeare. Forget about your troubles.
Hmm.
Whether it was the tragedy of Romeo and Juliet, the drama of Hamlet, all of that, and all for basically nothing.
Right, right. A few pennies if you had them. Just brilliant.
Totally. A win-win for everyone, a little bit of brightness in some really dark times.
Absolutely.
And speaking of bright spots, while Davenport was feeding people's souls, there was this other incredible thing happening, more focused on, actual food.
Oh, right,
This
yeah.
is the story of the penny restaurant.
Ah, yes. Talk about a symbol of just how tough things were. Back then, hunger was a real problem. I mean, families everywhere were struggling to put even the simplest meals on the table.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine.
Yeah, and that's where the penny restaurant comes in.
Hmm.
You could get a whole meal, a bowl of soup, maybe some bread, for literally 1 penny.
A penny.
A single penny.
It's heartbreaking in a way, but also kind of incredible, Like
Yeah.
you can picture these kids who might not have eaten that day finally getting a warm meal. It says so much about the need back then and really the generosity of the people running these places.
Oh, absolutely. And it wasn't just about, filling empty stomachs. It was about giving people dignity,
Yeah.
you know, showing them that someone cared in a time when a lot of people felt, well, forgotten.
Yeah, completely. And I think when we look at both of these stories, the theater and the restaurant, they both, in a way, highlight that incredible human desire to connect, to support one another.
Definitely. They were both addressing those really basic human needs. The theater provided mental and emotional stimulation, right? That escape we talked about.
Yeah.
And the restaurant, well, that was taking care of the body, making sure people had the energy to keep going.
Exactly. And one of the things that strikes me is that both were open to everyone.
Absolutely.
Didn't matter if you were rich, poor, whatever, everyone was welcome. And I think that created a really powerful sense of community, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. It was that shared experience,
Yeah.
that sense of we're all in this together, which can be so powerful in times of hardship.
Totally. It makes you wonder, though, right? Like today, in our world, what are the equivalents of these places? The penny restaurants, the free theaters. What are the challenges they're facing, and what can we learn from their successes, about building resilience and helping each other out?
Right.
It's something to think about, really.
Yeah, it really is.